Howdy. Let's start off quickly with some nuclear power plants news. That's some elderly news here. Olkiluoto 3 starts full regular electricity production a day early, but 14 years late. And if we go to the start of that whole article, which I will make a quick read through. Finland's newest nuclear plant is warming the sea, harming wildlife. The Olkiluoto 3 reactor became fully operational in April after a decade-long delay. The Olkiluoto 3 nuclear reactor Eurajoki in southwest Finland began regular electricity producing in April and now produces power at a rate of around 1,600 megawatts without emitting greenhouse gases. However, climate groups have pointed to a number of adverse effects the largest reactor in the Nordic region will have on its surrounding environment, including the warming of the seawater used to cool the plant in its effects on marine life. Olkiluoto 3 is by far the largest of the three reactors located at Eurajoki. Joki means river, and its operations will almost double the amount of water required to cool the plants. In total, the three reactors need around 120 to 130 cubic meters of cooling water per second. This is more than half the average flow of the nearby Kokemäenjoki river, and Olkiluoto 3 accounts for about 57 cubic meters of this volume. Court orders investigation. The seawater used to cool the nuclear power plant will also inevitably contain fish and other marine organisms. Finland's administrative court ordered an investigation to be carried out into the effects of Olkiluoto 3 in the local marine life when regular electricity production began in April. The investigation will take place over the coming 12 months and aim to clarify what effect, if any, the nuclear reactors are having on the local ecosystem. In practical terms, this means assessing the quantities and species of fish that are transported to the power plants by the cooling water. The report will be divided in two parts, with smaller fish less than a centimeter long collected at one point of the cooling water intake canals and bigger fish examined in filters that collect solids from the cooling water. Solids. Life. Fish. In practice, all the fish that are transported with the cooling water die, thereby removing a small amount of nutrients from the sea. Marine biologist Mika Civil from the Southwest Finland ELY Center explained one of the species that suffers most from the intake of cooling water is the perch, a freshwater fish popular with Finnish consumers. Previous studies have found that a few hundred kilos of perch are destroyed every year by the cooling process. The number is not terribly large, but this new survey will provide more information. The effects of smaller fish have not been studied before, but now we are getting information on them too, Civil said. Water temperature will also be monitored. The seawater used to cool the Olkiluoto nuclear power plants returned to the sea about 10 degrees warmer after passing through the plants. This is reflected in the warming of seawater some 3 to 5 kilometers from the cooling water discharge point. Safety Director Veli-Pekka Nurmi of the plant's operator TVO told Yle he does not believe that the startup of Olkiluoto 3 and the consequential increase in volumes of cooling water will significantly affect the surrounding environment. If it were to happen that we were heating the sea more than is allowed, we would limit the plant's capacity. We have not yet come close to such a situation, Nurmi said. TVO's safety director Veli-Pekka Nurmi. So first, they were creeping people out because if we cannot finish the Olkiluoto 3 before winter there will be an electricity shortage. They didn't manage, so it came onto the production just in April. And it turned out that they don't even have to run it because it produces too much electricity. Yeah. Anyway, there could be a lot of things be said about this. The plant's permit conditions dictate that the temperature of the seawater measured as moving weekly average must not exceed 30 degrees Celsius at a distance of 500 meters from the discharge channel. Yeah, that's quite hot, 30 degrees. Or 27, it would be rather hot. The permit conditions also limit the amount of seawater used for cooling and the heat load it can generate. TVO has so far been below the maximum level set by the permit. Last year, about 3.3 million cubic meters of seawater were used for cooling, compared with a maximum volume of about 4.4 million cubic meters as per the permit. Yeah, but it wasn't on last year. It didn't work yet. Yeah, anyway, let's go to some earthquakes. Maybe better before I get excited, so to say, too much about that whole project. There is something going on here. It started maybe an hour ago. And that's a very, very, very important ship route. 52 minutes ago, 5.9. Now we have to zoom in a bit further. 1 hour ago, 4.9. 1 hour ago, 4.8. 1 hour ago, 4.6. 1 hour ago, 4.4. 1 hour ago, 4.9. And 1 hour ago, 5.2. This looks rather interesting because there's like features down there, many, and I have been talking about how they discovered thousands of new volcanoes on the seafloor. They discovered the Borealis volcano up in the north, which is active. And if you zoom out here, you see that there in the vicinity we have a few volcanoes already discovered. Some of them are active. So the question is just, is there anything going on beneath the surface? And does it affect possibly whatever ship traffic which is going there? Because that's a very important shipping route. And I also checked quickly Windy, just to see if there's anything going on. So here are the quakes, and we are approximately zoomed out or in at the same rate. So we would probably have to expect, if anything visible, somewhere here. Now let's play or push play and see if there's anything. Yes, there is. Here is approximately the region we are watching for. Possible clouds, which are indicators that there is an energy exchange going on between Earth's mantle, maybe even below, and our atmosphere. Five hours and 42 minutes ago, I think the quakes were a little bit more to that side, but this doesn't matter too much because there's still something going on here. All of a sudden there are appearing clouds. There are appearing clouds. Now I probably said it more correctly. And these clouds, they could be this kind of pre-earthquake indicators. But anyway, I think I leave it here. There is something going on to the right here, obviously. Let's have a look at that quickly. Yeah. Very interesting. Doesn't look too good. And since we are over the sea, here in the middle of the screen, there might be a reason why these clouds just form at the places where they form, because there might be some energy exchange going on between Earth and its atmosphere and beyond. But I think I leave it here. This was just a quick one. Once again, nuclear power plants. And for those who didn't know, that at the same vicinity where we had or have this Olkiluoto 3 nuclear power plant, the biggest I think in Scandinavia, they also have this nuclear waste and storage facility where they take nuclear waste and put it in copper containers and then bury it in the ground. And as I have shown in my microwave experience or experiments, yeah, it was an experience. It might be not the best idea to put them in copper, because copper is a very good conductor, and telluric currents, geomagnetically induced currents, GICs, and all these kinds of things might play a role once then. But anyway, I'm not a professional. There are dozens of professionals working at those nuclear power plants, which are very well educated. They are doctors, PhDs, and whatsoever, engineers. So we have to assume they know what they do. Do we? Yeah, I think I leave it here. I won't talk too much about that because maybe better. Anyway, make up your own mind about the things. Thanks. Bye.